Oh, my mother was afraid of her life of robin, and got to be good one.
Aye.
If a robin come into the house, she'd lose her life.
It was a bad sign,
Bad
was
sign, yeah. She
Yeah.
had an awful fear of robins.
it? Aye.
No other bird, she mind any other bird.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have a death now. That's
Yeah, you see, maybe
something would have happened.
Yeah, it was handed down.
A robin
yeah.
came in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if she hopped around the table, that was,
Yeah.
yeah. She had an honest to God now, and I couldn't. She was afraid of her life for robin.
I don't like a bird inside. I do not. Nor tipping on the window.
No, well, I wouldn't mind tipping on the window, but if a bird comes in, it's some sign of a death or something. Not so much even that it may be a death, but something is going to happen, like, you know.
My grandmother used to look after this robin, and it never come back after she died. She used to feed it with her breakfast. She used to stand on her breakfast tray in the mornings and eat off her breakfast tray. But she died. She was bedridden at the time, and she died, and the robin never come in anymore.
And they say it's lucky to see a robin to come in. It's supposed to be lucky for a robin to fly into your house or kitchen. But they bring some news.
The robin, came in, like, to be bad news, supposed to be.
Or a picture falling off the wall. A death. Very nice.
It's not all that long ago, I had a cousin visiting me, and the next thing was the robin came in. They always came looking for a bit of food. I never took any notice of it. But she said, oh God, she says, so one of us is going to die. And not too long after, the poor woman herself died. She died. Well, she was good. She was a good age. She was in her 80s. But I always thought of that. But still, I wouldn't believe that the poor robin would be the cause of anyone's death.
We were in school together, and my friend used to take epileptic fits, God rest her soul. And she'd never take him until the robin landed on the sanctuary lamp. And she died. He used to always turn around and kind of sing his little tune. And he came in this morning, and he never whistled or anything. We knew she was gone. She went in one of them. Oh, I did. I know about the robin. Or if a robin comes in and was back out, that's a sure sign of a death. If he flies into the house and he just comes in and goes back out. Or a lonely swan in a lake is a sure sign of death.
And a picture falling on the wall is a sign of death. It should fall down out of the wall, a picture that will be hanging up long time.
I remember my father died, which I thought was terrible, and I was very young.
You were young when your father
Very
died,
young. He died sudden. But the week before, a picture fell off the wall. And my mother, I don't know, maybe she was mixed up after he died or something, but it was, I'd say, 2 months later, when a neighbour came in. And I'll tell you, she nearly died. And there was big to do, all the pictures had to be taken down and fresh cards put on them.
There's another one too about the picture of the crying child. Not to have it in your house, very, very bad luck. And you know something, do you remember when he tried to burn her one? It won't even burn for you. Believe it or not now. They reckon it's nothing but bad luck if you have it, and believe it or not, the same woman and man, they did have bad luck in their house. So she lit a fire out the back. She said, I'm burning the picture. Someone said the picture won't burn. And she threw the picture into the fire, and the picture was still there the next day. It did not burn.
I think there are certain families long ago too that used to see things. A certain person in the family actually used to see different things, and the rest of the family wouldn't see it. I've heard that now. I think it was a grandmother of mine was and my uncle was passing by his schoolyard, and they saw people at the door. He saw them, but she never saw them. There were people that used to see things. There are certain people in the family that sees things, and the rest of the family wouldn't even see them.
I was very young, and a baby died about a half a mile from where we lived, and it was passing the house. A light flashed like that. I always remember that light. I thought it was something most beautiful. You know, we weren't allowed to be out playing or anything, but we come in, we looked out the window to see the funeral go passing the house. But a light flashed. It was absolutely brilliant.
Long years ago, I was only, I think I was about 11 or 12, and there was people down the street from us, O'Grady's in Springfield, and they lived in a house in at the back of us. We could see it, and Patsy Grady was in hospital. He wasn't well, he'd had a heart attack. And Daddy came down from upstairs and he said to Mammy, Patsy Grady is dead. And she said, how do you know? He said, I've just seen him over the house. Saw his figure over the house. And Mammy went out the door because she was very friendly with her. And there was a nun pulling up at O'Grady's, going and tell her he had died. He was sitting on the bed just going to shave and he dropped dead. And then my own instance of something the same was my mother died in February 1988, and I'd been down in my sister's in Kilran with her from early Saturday morning, and I came home Monday lunchtime to get a shower and have a break, and I lay down on the bed in the bedroom, had a little snooze, woke up and saw Daddy at the bedroom window. Now Daddy was dead from 1950, 65. So Daddy at the window, little tap, and I knew she was gone. Did he come for her? Next thing the phone rang, Joan rang me. Mammy had died.
Stop, you're making me hair stand on the back of me.
But it's the truth.
My eldest son was living in Waterford, and he used to come up maybe once every 3 months because he was working late and early. And he went into Nina one evening and he came home. When he came home, he was like a ghost. And I said to him, what's wrong? He said, I'm after meeting a man, he said, on the road, he said. And he shook hands with me and welcomed me back to Nina. I said nothing, I never passed any remarks. I said, well, we'll see who it is and see will he mention the name. So he said, Ma'am, you told me, he said, some time ago, he said that man was dead. But he's not, he said, I met him tonight on the road. I said, are you sure? You see, I was kind of convinced then. I knew he was dead because he was a neighbour. And he said, yeah, he said, I met him. And I said, where did you meet him? He told me the spot. Now I said, no, get up in the morning. I said, you go to Nina. I said, I'm going to either go into the church, I said, and say a prayer for him, or go to the priest and get a mass said for him. I said, that's all he wants. But for the very minute he'd come to the house, I went into town with him, and he was gone like that, like a flash. He told me that the feeling over him was something terrible.
One of the things I didn't believe in was people coming back after death. And I happened to be going to the out farm one day, about around 12 o'clock in the day, and I saw this man in the yard, and I stopped and went into him. And while I was getting over the gate, he was gone. But I thought he was gone into his house. And I went to the house, a couple of the houses in the yard, and called his name, and he didn't appear. So I said to us all, the bloody cod. You know, the man was dead 6 or 8 months at the time. And when I went out, the daughter was with me. When I went out on the road again, the daughter said to me, Daddy, where's the man gone that was sitting on the stone there, rubbing the dog? And that's the time I firmly believed that he was there. I thought I was seeing things, but when she saw him, there must have been some truth in it, you know. So that's what happened.